Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Monday morning. Welcome to Success Champions Live.
Our
You
first
know,
Monday.
I know. Oh, it is the 2020.
First
Didn't
It
even
is
know.
our first Monday.
Wow.
It is, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Right?
New Year.
Look at that. I totally didn't even think about that, catch that.
Well,
But, it was at least a 50% of a good weekend. It would have been 100% a good weekend if two things would have happened. But the first thing that happened is Miami Dolphins lost. So that makes it amazing. But the Detroit Lions won. So I got 50-50 here.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I just had to Google that to figure all that shit out. But
what's funny is my biggest nemesis in this whole thing, Deanna Russo, I sent her a message and said, "Hey, great game last night. You guys played well." She replied back and said, "Suck it. We own you."
That girl.
Nice.
Suck it.
Wow.
That's
holy
freaking-
shit. I was trying to be nice.
Well, dude, being nice one time in your entire life,
I know.
you should expect suck it. That's so freaking awesome. Oh, what craziness did y'all do this weekend? Anything fun, exciting, crazy, wild?
Well, I had to put up with you on Friday. So after that, I just kind of needed a rest.
Hey, after like Smurfette took a shit on your hair, I mean, I get it.
Listen, I was there, so I should have evened it out a little bit, which made your weekend so much better.
Oh, no. You and I had a great time Friday until he showed up, right?
That's exactly right. And of course, he showed up late, like normal, right? We had everything done, and then he shows up and is like, "Okay, I'm here."
Everything
I'm
starts breaking, and then we have to deal
Dude,
with
it was awesome. I
It
tell
all
you,
falls apart.
I actually really, really enjoyed just showing up, and y'all like had everything figured out. I mean, I was pretty much just the pretty face in the crowd, and that was just a really, really cool moment for me.
Yeah.
So I wish everything worked that way, that I could just show up and be like, okay, where do I sign?
Here we go.
By the way, I like the image of the goat that you put on LinkedIn. You've got your hat on backwards, which makes you look very distinguished for once.
Had earrings and a necklace and like bracelets.
How did it come? How did you get that image?
Camp Counselor Donnie versus I don't know.
Yeah.
And trust me, I never need to be the camp counselor. I'm not the guy you want to send your kids around and go, "Hey, learn from this guy."
Yeah. Let's let Uncle Nono teach us something.
Right.
Indeed.
Oh, so we have a new puppy on the farm, Minnie, freaking short for Minerva, from Minerva McGonagall. Christ, Professor McGonagall.
You are welcome.
So, oh no, that's not a welcome. This the puppy is cute as all get out, but it's 100% your fault. I'm sorry you can't get your dog to keep its freaking play toy to itself.
But listen, we had 10 puppies, and we now have 0 puppies. So every single puppy found a good home. So we're happy. And when Donnie's wife says, "Please," I say, "No problem."
So right now we have 5 dogs in the house while we work on this one getting big enough to put out with the damn goats. So
I like it.
It's flipping insane. So, but I'm gonna introduce you guys to today's guest, and this one's a lot of fun for me. Her and I have known each other for a little while. We've been following each other a ton on LinkedIn, and she probably has one of the coolest Instagram accounts that I follow. And after you get to know her, you're gonna want to go follow her account just for the notes and things she puts out. It is completely a wild and creative way to do Instagram that I've not seen anybody else do. But she has a massive.
Don't you think she's gonna want to follow me back?
Yeah, no. No, not at all. But she moved some of her audience over here to LinkedIn, where I've been playing, and I have watched her quickly dominate on the platform and create a massive following in a very short amount of time. And even along this journey, went from hiding from behind the camera to now being in front of the camera. She talks about all kinds of cool things, from motivation to affiliate stuff. So y'all, welcome to the stage, the flamingo herself, Miss Stephanie Siege.
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
Hey.
Welcome.
What an introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So guys, seriously, you need to go to Instagram and look up the Sticky Fairy. We'll talk about it in a second. She writes these cool ass messages on sticky notes that are done. They're like motivational messages and everything. It is absolutely rad.
I just accidentally Googled sticky fairies and something really different came up.
That was not the right choice.
You know what? It's only men who always tell me that.
Well, of course. Uh-oh, look at this. Eden already jumped in. That's awesome.
And that's your imagination, not mine. So, you know.
All right, well, let's start this off the rough way. All right, so we are going to be playing a game called the Mystery Box. So, share screen. Window.
The show's going to hell.
Quickly. Keith, not that kind of box.
This is what we're starting with. Okay.
Yep. So how to play? We're gonna put 2 teams, so it's gonna be girls against guys. So Stephanie, you and Stevie will be taking on Mustache and Hungry Hippo. And the goal is we'll just go back and forth. If you get the question right, you decide if you want to keep the box or give the box to the other team. The points don't matter; they're all really made up. But some of the points are positive and some of them are negative. So you can fuck the other team in points if you want to keep your score. Feel free. So the points are good or bad. Are you ready? So, ladies first. Pick a letter.
S for Stephanie.
Hey.
Stevie.
Who sang backup vocal for Carly Simon's "You're So Vain"?
You know it?
Anybody know it?
No.
Nope.
I'm gonna say it's somebody famous.
Mick Jagger.
Yeah, I knew it was somebody.
Really?
Yeah, it was Mick Jagger.
Well, that's interesting.
So, ladies, you want to keep the box or give the box away? It's all points.
Steph, your choice.
Should we give it away?
Give it away. So it's going to the boys, and the boys get 2,000 points. All right, boys. Pick a number or pick a letter. Pick a number.
Go ahead, Keith.
How about F for fairy?
Which 4-letter word ends in "unt" and is often used to refer to a woman?
Put an A in front of it, not the C.
Good call, Keith. Good call.
Good answer.
The song wasn't about Mick Jagger. It was actually about another singer, Mike. It's the word "ant," you filthy animals.
That's what I said. Hey.
So, do you want to keep the box or give the box away?
It's all you burn.
Let's keep it. We're going to keep it.
Keeping the box. Boom! 200 points. Ladies, pick a letter.
A.
Actor Steve Carell plays what memorable? Jesus, he's not dead. Character in the popular TV series The Office.
He's the boss, right?
Yeah, is it Michael?
Michael. Yeah.
Michael. Yep, it's Michael. Now, keep the box, pass the box.
I feel like now I want to keep the box.
Keeping it is. And on our point. Hey! On board.
Hey, it's 1,800 to 100. We got this, Vern.
Boys, pick a letter.
We're going to go with W.
Like boy math.
W. What's beautiful and natural but gets long and prickly if it isn't trimmed regularly? Well, boys.
A cactus. A cactus.
These questions?
The answer is grass. You filthy people. You want to keep the box or pass the box?
Let's keep it.
All right.
Keep it.
Keep it as it is. Plus 400.
Hey, good choice.
Ladies, pick a box.
All right, Steph, your choice, Stephanie.
Let's go for M.
In Texas, it's illegal to swear in front of what?
Uncle No.
Pretty sure that's the exact place you should be doing.
Your grandmother?
No.
I would say like a courthouse.
Close. A corpse. It's illegal to cuss in front of a corpse in Texas. I had to Google it to make sure, and that's a legit thing.
Wow.
Ladies, you gonna keep that box or pass it?
We're all gonna get arrested at Donnie's
Yeah,
funeral.
right.
All right.
Come on, fucker.
Holy shit, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had to Google that.
Wow.
Boys, pick a box.
Oh.
Who entered a contest to find his own lookalike and came in third?
Ooh.
There's two of these guys that I know of, but the one I have one main answer on this one. But they entered their own lookalike contest and took third
the
place.
lead singer of Kiss. What's his name?
No, it wasn't Gene Simmons. There's two of them. It was Charlie Chaplin was the first answer, but the Sammy Davis Jr. was the second one.
Oh shit!
Both of them.
Really?
Both of them. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
That is funny.
All right, ladies, pick a box. Oops.
Oh, we kept it.
What was that?
Me hitting too many buttons.
Figures.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
H.
What organ expands about 10 times on emotional stimulus?
I know what it's not.
Keith and I had the same thought when we read the first part of that statement.
Yeah.
Any answers?
Which one do you want to go for? I'd say the heart, but you say something else.
I would too, but I'm guessing that's not true. But let's go with heart. It sounds good.
It's the pupil of your eye, you filthy people. If the answer actually says, if you thought of anything else, life is going to be very disappointing.
Yay.
I.
How many different words are in the book, the story, Green Eggs and Ham?
144.
There's actually only 50 different words. It's the shortest book, and they actually challenged him to write a book under 250, so he did it in 50 different words. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
Pick a box, ladies. Oops.
K.
Okay. In St. Louis, Missouri, it's illegal for a fireman to rescue who?
Donnie. Yeah.
A corpse, not a corpse. Are you ready for this? A naked woman.
What?
Yes. So if you were naked in your house as a female, they're not allowed to rescue you.
That's why Donnie had to.
I take issue with that.
That's why Donnie had to call the police.
Wait, no. Oh Lord. All right, just a couple more. Pick another letter.
J.
What is the national animal of Scotland? This one's really funny.
Scottish sheep.
No.
I would say sheep.
It's the unicorn.
What?
Of all shit. Google that. I even Googled it. I didn't freaking believe it. But yeah, it's a unicorn.
So a make-believe animal is the national animal.
Yes.
Wow.
Somebody would have lost 1,000 points.
The women lost 1,000 points. I think it's 100.
No,
to negative 500.
All right, two more. Pick one.
A D.
What can you find in the pants of a man but won't find in the dress of a woman?
Pocket.
Yes, it's a pocket.
I mean, it's a going thing. Apparently, as women, we're not allowed to have pockets anywhere.
Oh, hold on. Let's go with letter E. Which four-letter word starts with an F and ends with a K? You can always use your hands when you cannot get it.
A fork.
It is a fork.
So fork off.
Good job, Keith.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Hold on.
Oh, we got.
Here we go.
1 point.
Oh, what animal did the Australian soldiers fight in 1932?
Kangaroo.
Close.
Tasmanian devil.
No, it's emus.
Emus. Yeah.
And when the story actually says when a gun jammed, the emus won a part of the battle.
They're aggressive creatures.
Yeah.
Very aggressive creatures.
What rapper once appeared in his own Girls Gone Wild video?
His own Girls Gone Wild. What rapper?
Girls Gone Wild. That's a way back.
Yep.
I would say Chance the Rapper because I don't know what anybody else comes to mind.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. It would have to be older than that. That doesn't surprise me about Snoop Dogg either.
Right on. Well, let's move this on. All right, Stephanie, this is all about you, crazy lady. I've got to be serious. It's been a blast watching your stuff blow up. And seriously, if you guys haven't seen her stuff, she does these handwritten sticky notes. And for how long did you run that account where it was just your hand and the sticky notes? It was
for over a year.
And how many followers did you have at that point?
I had about 200 followers for about a year, where I was anonymous writing thousands of notes. And then I went on TikTok, started an account, had never used it, went viral 10 days later, and got 40 million views in a month and a half.
Damn.
So it's wild to watch all the things, and the notes are inspirational messages. Sometimes they're just funny, almost satire in nature type sayings and stuff. Where do you come up with all the crazy damn quotes and stuff? Is this just like you walk through Hallmark and go, "That's a good one"?
Sometimes I do, but the best ideas don't really come from that. And I think, if you focus on a car that you want or a color that you're just fascinated by, all of a sudden that shows up everywhere. It's similar with the quotes. Like, I don't even have to work for it nowadays. My followers send me quotes. I see them everywhere. They sort of just come to me naturally. But in the beginning, if you look back on my Instagram, they were really shit. I mean, they were not inspirational. They were not in any way memorable. But I think that's with, the journey of everyone. You start somewhere and you start doing something, and then you evolve. So every time somebody looks at me and they're like, "Oh my God, you have so many followers and views," I tell them exactly this. Just go back and look at the first ones. If you get like imposter syndrome or you don't think you can do it, just look at that. It's shit. So if you can do that, and get where I am today, then just start.
I tell everybody, I'm like, go back and watch a singer's first music they did, or go watch, freaking Joe Rogan's first podcast episodes he did. Go watch any speaker the first time they were on stage. They all sucked. It's all a learned process.
Yeah.
But you transitioned over to LinkedIn, and that was kind of a big wild ride. You had to change up content, change up formats. And that's when I met you. What was that like, going from all the other platforms over to LinkedIn?
It's a bit weird. I think, first of all, it's easier to get very self-conscious on LinkedIn because that there's a lot of people from a different life that are, watching. And
I never thought about that. You can hide behind Instagram, TikTok. Oh, I never thought about that.
150 people have seen these hands, but they haven't seen this face,
Right.
So it's so easy. But yeah, so I think I had a bit of that in the beginning. But then once you've created enough content and you've done the stuff, you just stop giving a shit. Like, why would I care about somebody who never posts on LinkedIn, on anywhere else? Why would I give my attention to what they're going to think about what I'm doing? So I just started writing stuff. And I think that's the interesting part, because LinkedIn is so different. It's much more personal. You actually develop relationships with people. And on Instagram, when you have a big following, you're kind of seen as, the creator. You're put up on a pedestal a bit, and people tell you nice things and they write you nice things, but there's a distance between like a creator and a follower. And you don't really have that on LinkedIn. We're just people, all of us, and you're as appreciated as, people like your posts and what you have to say. But apart from that, nobody's really different from anyone else. And I like that.
So I agree with that. The funniest thing is when you started posting pictures of you in an inflatable flamingo. And literally, if you go on LinkedIn, you're going to see her in pictures with an inflatable water flamingo around her damn waist. Where did that come from? And the whole idea of this flamingo flamboyance. And I won a damn award one week from you. Where did all that come from?
So the reason why I never showed my face for the first year was that I was recovering from a whole lot of illnesses. And most of all, I used to be covered in eczema from top to toe. So it wasn't just the fact that I didn't want to show my face. It was the fact that I was ashamed of the way I looked, and there was a reason for it. So it wasn't just me being self-conscious, like everyone can be, but there was actually something going on. And so then as I healed, I started thinking about this notion around standing out, because that's what everybody's trying to do. If you're on a social platform, you're trying to get attention in one way or another for your business or whatever it is that you're promoting. And then I thought, okay, so it has been a theme for me that I have stood out all my life. First of all, I'm also really tall, but second of all, I had skin issues for most of my life. And then I thought, that is kind of my thing, but why don't I turn it into something that is nicer? How can I stand out in a funny way without having it be about all the, the stuff that is no longer present in my life? And then I was lying in bed on a Saturday morning and I was Googling how to stand out. And I looked at the animal kingdom. And first I came across, being the elephant in the room. But I was like, well, you don't really want to be
Keith owns that one. You're fine.
Wow. From hippo to elephant, like 20 minutes, Keith.
Man.
Dang.
I'm going to get an inflatable flamingo costume now.
Well, join the club.
He's going to look like Grimace.
But then I saw another quote saying, be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to be a flamingo. And then I just started playing with that. I bought the flamingo. I made lots of videos, took pictures of me drinking tea and running around London in that flamingo ring. And then I just turn it into a thing, because again, like any creator is trying to get attention, but so how can you do that by sort of not ridiculing it but playing with it a little bit, just to, I don't know, make people laugh, give them something to talk about if they want to talk about you.
Well, that's 100% why I use baby goats, and even put a baby goat in a flamingo for her in one of her posts.
That was the best one.
So many people are trying to go viral. So on TikTok, when you get that many followers, how hard is it to keep up with all the comments, all the engagements, all the messages? I mean, I know on LinkedIn, and I've only got like 11,000 followers on LinkedIn, and sometimes it can be hard to keep up with the comments, the engagements, and the like. What's it like when you're sitting on 4 million over there on TikTok?
Well, it depends on the traffic, because on TikTok you don't really have to engage, and I think the more viral you go, the less you want to have a look at what people are writing.
I've only had one post blow up, and over there on TikTok, and people are fucking ruthless, man. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Like that post that says, here's a stick just so you guys have proof you can argue about anything. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Insane.
So I think it's, I saw some celebrity talk about going viral before, and she said that she no longer, it's her team that handles all the comments and all of that. And I see why, because again, we are trying to go viral. We are trying to get attention, but it comes at a price. And so I think you have to set up yourself so that you don't have to deal with that, which is why on certain videos, like I stop reading them, and people they can get really not only offensive, but they can get very passionate about trying to get their comment across and get an answer, because they're trying to pick a fight, and you just can't go there.
So yeah, I get blown away by the audacity some people have and the things they'll say in the comments. But I also am empathetic, because I keep telling myself, this is the highlight of their day, right? This is the only thing that they can do in their life to make themselves feel good. Cool. We'll play with that for a little while, but at the end of the day, they got to look themselves in the mirror. So, and trolls are a real thing.
I know you're one every day.
I know.
They're so kind to one another.
Oh, dude, Stevie is the freaking sister I never wanted. Yeah. Bernie's like the little brother I wish I never had, and Keith is a legit brother that I wish was adopted so we could unadopt.
How long have you guys known each other?
Too long.
Yeah.
What? So Stevie and
Bernie's the new guy.
Yeah,
Bernie's new.
We've known Bernie for less than a year.
Yeah, about 6 months.
We've known his mustache for about a year or two.
Well, he gets there before he does.
Right.
I'm wondering if I could like turn myself into you. I'm sick of the flamingo. Your look is just amazing.
Oh, now his head's gonna blow up like your inflatable flamingo.
No. She has to be nice because we're on air, Bernie. That was you ugly son of a bitch. You look amazing.
You know, I mean, Bernie, you should just dye that whole mustache like pink or something.
So pink, right?
There you go.
That'd be awesome. Dye it pink and then post it on her page. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. I love it.
Or if you get the curl and make it like a flamingo head on both sides.
Oh no, that would be something. Yeah.
So, Steph, one of the coolest stories you have is all your Post-it notes. Was it at a train station that they put them up? Tell us a little bit about that.
So before I had blown up and started getting any traction, it was just before I went on TikTok, I started getting really frustrated because I would write like about 50 notes per day. And then I would go out because I was pretty sick, pretty depressed, just not knowing what to do. So I would just walk around London putting up these notes, thinking that they would help someone. And then, of course, it rains quite a bit in London, so they would just disappear. And I thought, how can I get them to stick for a bit longer? And I live next to one of the biggest train stations in London. And then I just walked in there one day and asked if they wanted to do something. And they replied the same day that I went viral on TikTok. And then a couple of months later, I got my own sticky note exhibition inside the station, and they've just extended it for a year. So there's about 400 handwritten notes on 2 different floors. And it's a beautiful thing. You know, I get messages every other day from people who are like, oh, I happened to wait for my train and I had a really shitty day. And then, you made me laugh. And that was kind of the idea, because at some point I was suicidal and I was considering ending my life because I was so unhappy. And then, I know how little it takes to turn somebody's mind around and make them think about something else. So yeah, it's been such a cool project.
Oh, literally, that's at one of the train stations. You can kind of see it, but it's a whole wall of really cool notes and everything that stick up at the train station.
Yeah, it's a cool one. And then I made a couple more signs for another train station where they outside London, where a lot of people commit suicides on the tracks. And the day that I went there to put up one of the signs, a train driver came down just to meet me because he heard what I was doing. And it was really touching because he was like, it's just nice that somebody's trying to do something. And when he told me that, I felt so helpless because I was like, is this it? Like, can I not do anything else than put up a few notes? But I think it's not the magnitude. It's just that somebody does something and raises awareness around whatever the issue is. And when you do that, people who are involved feel seen and feel somehow more supported than if you do nothing. So I think for everyone who's thinking about doing something or, making the world a better place, you really don't have to do massive things. It can literally start with a stupid little note that you put up somewhere. And then that idea evolves over time and grows into something that can turn into something really meaningful, not only for you, but for a lot of people. And you never know, the coolest thing, you never know the impact you have on people. I get people telling me that every day, like, you don't know how many people have seen your notes, or you don't know what somebody did or didn't do because of your notes. And it's the same, with your posts on LinkedIn or any other platform. It's so easy to get stuck in, oh, I only got 20 views or 300 views. But imagine 300 people staring at you right in front of you. That's a lot of people. So it's not about the numbers or going viral. It's about the impact.
Well, and for sure, and most people, if they had to stand in front of a room of 4 million, they wouldn't want to do it, right?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah,
but even you wouldn't want to stand in front of 1,000 people. Most people wouldn't want to do that either.
Yep.
But yet somehow when it's online and it's a social network, we think that, it has to be big numbers, otherwise it doesn't count. And that was the big mistake I made. I thought that you needed to have a massive audience to start monetizing or selling stuff, but that's not true. You only need the right buyer. And that could be somebody who's, like one of 20 people. That's more than enough.
Well, and that's what's been really fun to watch you now as you jump into this affiliate game, and are starting to teach people how to create their side hustles and affiliate marketing and the likes. And I like the fact that you're doing it because you didn't come from that space. So it's not like a guru trying to teach affiliates. It's, hey, this is what I fucked up and figured out. Come learn from all the things that I screwed up to figure out how to do affiliate stuff, which has been a lot of fun to watch. What if somebody wanted to get in the game of writing these notes around for other people to see? Where would you recommend they start? And what impact do you think it would have on them more personally than professionally?
You mean, was this about notes or affiliate marketing?
Let's do the notes. So if they wanted to start their own sticky notes, like they wanted to create a campaign where they were going around leaving notes for other people in random places, where would you recommend they start?
I would start on Instagram if you wanted to also do it. I would do exactly what I did. I would start an account that you somehow link to something that you're trying to do, the sticky fair was just me envisioning this fairy who flies around doing good stuff and spreading the notes. But, come up with any name that has something to do with what you're doing and then start putting the notes where there are people. I get a lot of people asking me, first of all, for permission, like, can I do it too? And I'm like, I did not trademark writing sticky notes in the whole because I did it.
Bernie trademarked mustache rides, but other than that, it's fine.
Exactly. So, permission granted, do whatever the hell you want. And you'd be surprised. I don't think you would have to do it for a very long time. And especially if you were at school or in a university, it would be so easy to start or create a small following if you put that up in, on mirrors and bathrooms or places where people stare anyway and feel insecure or sad or whatever it is. So it has so much potential.
I'm going to struggle with it a little bit because what am I going to do? Stick it on this different goat today? Because I never leave the farm hardly. So I'll be like, I'll put it on this goat today, the dog tomorrow,
I just thought he was going to say he doesn't have any mirrors in his house because he already broke them all.
Wow. Wow. This is all sex appeal, Stevie. Sex appeal.
You break the
mirrors.
Sorry.
Too damn funny. Well, Stephanie, thanks for hanging out with us, babe. Keep hanging with us. We got a couple other things we're going to run through and get going with. But, man, thank you for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun to follow you and get to know you a whole lot.
Thank you so much for having me.
For sure. All right, so I just clicked.
World.
I know we're not doing that. He did not do his homework.
So this is Stephanie. Right? I can guarantee you, in this next bit, we're doing nothing about a small world.
Nothing at all. He just was a lazy ass and didn't want to create something new today.
Well, some of us were busy running a company, but
damn,
and the gloves came off. So in this next bit, we're going to talk about what's the biggest excuses you've heard people use to either get out of work, get out of doing things, get out of whatever. What are some of the big excuses you've heard or you've used? And I'll start it off with one funny one that I used. I completely missed a virtual coffee with somebody. And when I came back in the house to tell them why, it's because we were literally having baby goats at that moment. And so I'm pretty sure I'm the first person in their world to say, sorry, I can't make the meeting because we are literally having baby goats. It was an excuse, but I'm feeling like they're telling people that story forever.
Well,
Like,
the funny thing is now when I miss a virtual coffee, I said my brother's having baby goats, and I had to go help him.
I had to go help. I just say Keith's puppy is having puppies, so he needed a
right.
See?
right?
Right.
Same idea. You know
So-
what's funny is I was thinking about like what are some that I've heard or whatever, and I remember this one time I was teaching in a small town in Kansas, and it was a farm town, but I had just moved there, and a student didn't come to class, and their excuse was I couldn't get the horse back in the barn. And I instinctively am like, that's bullshit. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, right? I'm like, that's just crap. I don't even know where you came up with all this. So I went down this whole thing. And then I had somebody tell me, this is a farm town. That's actually a valid thing that they were running late because of. And I'm like, are you serious? Does that happen? I thought of that today because I was thinking of you and the farm and different excuses you would make. And so I was like, wow, yeah, that happened to me. Somebody used an actual valid excuse, but I didn't realize it was valid. Right?
Nice.
Right.
Crazy.
Keith, Bernie, what did you guys come up with?
So the funniest story. The excuse was this: I didn't think I'd get caught, but the story behind it was absolutely hilarious. So in my sales career, we were at a national sales meeting, and one of our distributor reps decided not to come down that day for that day of training. He said he was sick, he wasn't feeling good. Well, a vendor had come in from the East Coast and put up a map of their sales reps around the country, so we knew who to contact. And his name was on the map with his phone number, and he was working for both companies. And the reason he didn't come down was because he didn't want to run in, because neither company knew he was working for both companies. But when they put his name on the map, where everybody's like, wait a minute, why is his name there? He's like, well, he's been working for us for 6 months. I'm like, he's been working for us for 2 years. And that's when we confronted him the next day. He said, well, shit, I didn't think I'd get caught.
Wow.
Needless to say, both companies fired him.
Oh my God.
But he did. I mean, for 6 months, he was pulling double income. So
good for him.
Was it like the same business? I mean, same industry.
We were a distributor. They were a manufacturer, so we were distributing their products. So yeah, he was the manufacturer rep and the distribution rep, so he could give himself all the business he wanted. So it was pretty brilliant.
Awesome.
If he was able to pull it off even further.
Right.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, fairly recently, I was, co-host on one of these podcasts, and this guy, Keith, came late to the meeting because he took a nap and forgot to set his alarm.
He jumps on, and he's like 30 minutes late, and then he's like, where you been? He's like, I don't want to tell you.
Donnie goes, I don't care if you want to tell us. Now you have to tell us.
Yeah.
He's like, I took a nap.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes you gotta sleep.
I was fairly new out of the Marine Corps, and I was working at a restaurant bartending and was supposed to do the morning shift. And I had to call and tell them why there was no way in hell I was coming in is because I worked at 2 bars. And the night shift, I closed the bar and then went back to a friend's house, and we proceeded to play poker till 7 o'clock in the morning when the sun came up. So by the time I needed to drive to work, I had to call in and say, I am literally too drunk to drive anywhere to get to work. I didn't get fired because the general manager was like, the mere fact that you stayed so patient enough to call me and tell me that, and I knew you were serious, he didn't fire me over it. But yeah, I called in too drunk to work.
There are honest excuses.
Yeah,
I love
that.
So I was chaperoning some students at a college trip, and the rule was they were all of age. But the rule was no alcohol in your hotel room. This is a school-sponsored trip, right? So if you want to go to the bar and do your thing, that's fine. That's on your own time. But this is a school-sponsored trip. No alcohol in your hotel room. And I happened to be in a room like down the hall from them. And so I heard them. They were loud. They were noisy through the night. That was fine. But then I heard all this clanging, like bottles clanging together, walking down the hall. And so I looked out the little like peephole, and I see the president, and he's got like 4 bags, right? And you know it's alcohol, you know it's liquor, and he's just carrying it really slowly, so he tries not to make noise, which of course means he's making all the noise. And so I stick my head out the door and I say, "Hey, what you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I just picked up, some snacks for the room." I said, "Well, man, that's making a lot of noise." And it's like, 1 a.m. So I'm like, "It's making a lot of noise at 1 a.m." He goes, "Yeah, did you know down at the hotel, like the little store, they only sell Coke in the glass bottles." Like legit. He just came out with it like boom. And I was like, that is such a bold-faced lie, but I give you credit for just like having it in that moment to say that.
I was trying to think maybe like the Planters peanuts come in a glass jar. Like,
right,
I
think
the Coke and the peanuts.
What comes in glass that I could say that's what's in these bags, right?
Oh, he was thinking that up all the way up coming up the elevator.
He was so prepared. I was like, I really give you credit for having that so quickly as an excuse.
Oh, I had to give a speech in downtown Fort Worth, so it was about a 35-minute drive from the farm. And as I'm driving there, I had to call the place that I was giving a speech at and say, I will be late. And they're like, okay, well, the room's full, everybody's looking forward to you. I said, if you will quickly turn on the news, you'll see half the county is on fire. So literally, it was over off of Highway 30 where they were doing the new 70,000 homes going in. I forget that subdivision, but as they were building homes, they called it brush fire, and it literally set the whole skyline ablaze. So we couldn't get from our farm into the city because of all the fire trucks and everything else. So even though I was a keynote, there was just no way. I'm like, I try and leave early as hell to get to speaking engagements and stuff. But yeah, a wildfire stopped me from getting to a speaking engagement. Any other crazy ones from you guys?
I mean, I use Donnie as an excuse all the time. Does anybody else do that?
I would.
That's pretty easy.
I mean, I could say to somebody, well, Donnie got on his high horse about something and he just kept talking and I couldn't get him to shut up. And
almost anybody would believe that.
Yes. Nobody has ever doubted me on that.
That's not true. People have doubted you all the time, Stevie. Oh, in this segment, we were talking
about
what
the most accurate title I've ever seen.
So each week, Stevie and I come in to teach something absolutely miraculous. We put a lot of energy, time, and effort into these sessions, and we have workbooks and the likes to really wow you with all this knowledge that we have. So, Stevie, what are you teaching today?
Yeah. And usually Bernie and I have to explain to everybody what they just said.
It's like we need subtitles.
We do need subtitles. Captions would be helpful. What are we teaching, Donnie? What do people need to know?
So
I think week back of the year. What do people need to know?
So for me, I was thinking about what the hell do we actually teach today? Is everybody either they do resolutions or they don't do resolutions, right? And they're already a week in. If they did resolutions, they've already fucked them up, right? Because resolutions are just obnoxious. So I really want to talk through, and everybody can jump in on this one. How do you actually sustain or create and sustain momentum as we go into the year? So it's not this false start of, ooh, I'm going to do something amazing. So I thought I'd start it off with this way because I'm absolutely insane. And I know I have to create traps for myself. Like if I need to accomplish something big, I can't, it's not enough for me to say I've got to, or I'm going to do this, right? I have to do something a lot bigger that forces me to do a thing. So I do these things called setting traps, where I will actually put a post out on social media saying I'm going to do this thing. So now I have other people holding me accountable. So my crazy thing to keep momentum throughout the years is health is one of the things I knew I needed to focus on. So my smart ass signed up for a Tough Mudder in October. And put a post out on LinkedIn that says, hey, I'm going to do this Tough Mudder. Two people who I didn't want to comments. First is Mark Zolmanoff, who is now my trainer for this Tough Mudder, going to beat the shit out of me to freaking do this. The second was Greg Birch, who's 6'7", just a mountain of a man that looks like Zeus, who said he'll be on my team. So now not only do I have to do this freaking Tough Mudder, I've got a trainer and a freaking dude that's going to run this with me. So I've got no choice to do that. But
the great news about putting that out there is you have a sponsor already. I'm paying Mark Zellman off $50 a month to whoop your ass even harder. As an indirect sponsor.
I don't think that's a sponsor because I don't get any benefit out of that. You know?
Oh, you will. You will at the end of the year.
But I mean that's how I'm wired. I know I have to do that kind of stuff to.
Have you even looked at this whole Tough Mudder thing? I mean, I actually looked at it yesterday thinking.
Wait, do you actually know what you signed up for?
I don't think he does. Do you know you're going to get electrocuted?
Yes.
You know you're going to swim like you're almost drowning?
Yes. Under barbed wire. The only thing missing is gunfire. I did this in the Marine Corps, not to 10 miles and not 21 obstacles. But I called full gear under barbed wire and with gunfire going over the top.
I called them and asked them if I could throw rocks at you on the course, and they're getting back to me.
Look, the only thing I'm really glad about, Keith, is he's doing this in October, which means Badass Business Summit has already happened.
So already over.
It's really no big loss to us.
He's going to need a way to work off all that stress anyways. It's probably good for him.
Exactly. It's great. And if he gets injured or whatever, we don't need him. It's fine.
Exactly. Probably be a better summit.
Oh, Donnie.
So
Stephanie goes, poor Donnie.
You have no idea. Stephanie, you have no idea.
You have no idea what he puts us through.
I totally plan on documenting this entire process. I actually paid for the upgrade of the Tough Mudder to have a cameraman follow me along and take a bunch of pictures along for the ride.
That'd be cool.
Right.
I can't wait.
And y'all are gonna see me cussing Mark out when I'm doing training sessions, and Mark's like, we're gonna do once or twice a week Zoom calls to freaking make sure. I'm like, oh fuck me. So I can't even like hide. There's a whole app I gotta fill shit out on. So yeah, there's no hiding in this. And what the first thing in the app is like take pictures from the front and side. I'm like, I don't even want to see that. What the hell do I want to let you see that? So that's how I plan on keeping a lot of momentum going into this year. That's right. Who needs enemies?
Who needs enemies when you got friends and family like this, right?
Right. So what about you guys? I mean, how do you guys keep momentum throughout the rest of the year? What's that goal to keep things consistent moving forward and going?
For me, I read the 12-week year a long time ago as a business book, and I love that. So I look at my year as just 12 weeks. That's my year. And so I think what that forces me to do is set smaller goals, right? I'm not setting something for a year from now because too much in my world, too much in life happens. And I can set a goal today, but the person I am today versus the person I am at December of this year will be two entirely different humans. And they're not going to want the same thing. So I try and do 12 weeks. And so I set myself goals for those 12 weeks. And I feel the shorter time span is what makes me successful at getting it done. Like I'm just not good at those long-term commitments.
Me either.
I like shorter things. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I do. And that's one of the things I encourage my leaders to do in our programs is like set goals that are shorter so you don't lose track of the motivation and why you were doing the goal. Right. So even if you want to say make, 100K this year, you could still do, I'm going to make 25K in the next 12 weeks. And that makes it smaller. Right. So I really enjoyed that book and I really enjoyed that kind of sentiment. So that's what I do.
I like that. And, kind of a crazy, it's not a consequence. It's a positive from putting out the traps that I have is like Enrique saying, I wish you the best on your run is the number of people that have popped up in support of, or the DMs I've already gotten from people that are like, man, I should be doing something.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't expecting as part of putting something else out there. So it's a extra layer of cool accountability in there.
Well, isn't it when we share our story, we empower other people to share theirs, right? So, I mean,
or empower other people to make fun of us. One of the two.
Well, sure. Both. My story is making fun of you, Donnie.
I think it's your life goal and ambition.
That's how you know you're making an impact.
Dude, and in our household, if you're not getting your balls busted, then nobody likes you.
Yeah.
It's always funny to get like new kids come around, our nieces, boyfriends, or whatever, right? And until they give it back to us, we have no respect for them.
Yeah.
As soon as they give it back to us, we're pat them on the back, like, all right, welcome in.
Attaboy.
Now you're good to go. So,
and Keith will have fun with them. He'll like, hey, go say that to Donnie. Go say that to Donnie. And you'll watch the boyfriends who are really mousy go, nope.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's fun to have fun.
So it is. So boom. Yeah, I totally didn't have time to do transition.
Sound effects are so loud.
Stephanie, before we start this last bit, do you have children?
Who? Oh, me?
Stephanie.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. You can play along then with Stevie and Donnie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keith, you want to introduce this segment?
Yeah, so Bernie and I had this great idea. We were talking about kids and stupid things we've had to tell our kids. So we decided to come up with a bit that's there's things we thought we'd never have to say to our children. So we're going to give you guys a couple of phrases. You guys are going to have to guess if we actually said it or if we're just making shit up. So,
and just so you guys know, Keith's oldest is our favorite hippie. So some of the things that 19
19 now, yeah.
19.
Yeah, she travels around the country doing rock concerts, and she is absolutely 100% a hippie. And
so he's the hardest
stuff I've had to say to my daughter is mind blowing. So Bernie, you want to kick us off?
To yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. So I mean, I'll start it off then with that whole first thing, because this is like when she was like 16 years old, and I'm like, absolutely not. You have to get the weed out of the house, right? When do you ever think you're going to tell your kids to get the weed out of the house?
Why would you ever say that? That's bad advice.
I didn't understand at the time. Like I'm like old school, and I thought weed, right? You're smoking weed; it's a gateway drug and all this stuff. And I didn't realize how much it was helping with her depression.
Well, it might have proved to be a gateway drug,
or something like that. So,
you have it in the house if you share it with me,
right?
Yeah. Well, times have changed now. That was about. Oh God.
I guarantee that's a real thing you said to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So for reference, I have a 6-year-old stepson and a 4-month-old daughter. Okay. So I was talking to my stepson and went into his room late in the evening, getting ready for bed. And I had to tell him, stop dancing naked in the window, dude. This isn't fucking Amsterdam.
I guarantee that was
real. Tell Keith that almost every Saturday night.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That was a true statement.
Yeah.
So my kids are 16, 17, and 19, but long time ago when they were little. I remember going upstairs and I can't remember if they were playing in a bedroom or something. And I'm like, guys, stop playing with your brother's pee-pee. Just like one of those, the door jam that you can hit and like that. They're like just boom, like slapping that thing. I'm like, stop. Oh my God.
And you called it a pee-pee?
Well, yeah, they were little. Right? It's like when they were like 5, 6, and 8. Like, stop playing with that thing. So
wow.
Hey, absolutely 100% true.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% true. I'm like, guys, how do you at what age do you have that conversation and explain to them what it really is and stuff and why that might hurt?
Feel free to share that conversation right now if you want to. I would love
to. Go ahead, Keith, teach us.
Oh my gosh. Hang on, my daughter's in the other room. Explain this to her.
Can we just take a second to just imagine what the birds and the bees conversation might be with somebody like Keith as your dad?
So the funniest thing, so I'm very open in communication stuff, and if I actually brought my daughter in right now, she would tell you the story that we had, the images that I used, the website that I found, and everything else. And,
the website you found.
Oh yeah,
Pornhub is not an educational website.
It was not Pornhub. It was Goat Hub.
All right, honey, let me introduce you to OnlyFans.
I think the most recent thing I had to tell her was stop smoking pot on your social media, right? She's like doing these things where she'll stitch Snoop and Willie and her together, doing the same, using the same bong or something. I'm like, stop.
Can I get her number? She sounds awesome.
Dude, she is literally our resident gypsy. I mean, freaking no cares in the world. She travels and works these rock concerts, and is just, she's our traveling gypsy.
We told a story not too long ago. Donnie's best friend has been smoking weed since they've known each other for over 30 years. And I mean, 24 hours a day. There's nobody that we know that smokes and drinks more than him and his wife do. And they were here at the farm one day, and they were out back in the treehouse smoking with my daughter. And him and his wife came back and said, the first time in our life, we give up.
Yeah. Straight up out smoked them. Like Cheech and Chong would throw in the fucking towel.
With your daughter.
Mutter.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Am I supposed to be proud?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Bernie, hit us with another one.
Keith's inspirational sticky notes would be all about the things that you want to say to your daughter.
I feel like I'm getting more of the education than she is.
All right, here's one. So I had to tell him, dude, take the dog's foot out of your mouth. You know he walks in his own piss and shit, right?
Oh.
That's real.
That's absolutely accurate.
I mean, I'm constantly looking at my big German Shepherd going, would you take the puppy's head out of your fucking mouth? Damn German Shepherd got the whole puppy's head, whole entire head in his mouth. So.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think the favorite thing I had to say to him when we were young was, Mom and Dad were just wrestling.
So why is Uncle No playing tag team? No, I'm kidding. That didn't happen.
Wait, I was out of town.
Well, then who was the other guy? Wow. Man, y'all are so inappropriate. All right, let's talk about what's coming up this week. And we broke the internet
again. That's the goal every week. Can we break Stevie? Yep.
For sure. So, Stevie, what do you have coming up next, babe?
Recovery from what I just heard. What I have next, I have a webinar at the very, very end of the month on goal setting for 2024. So that's my webinar at the end of the month.
Stephanie just sent me a private message saying she just bought her ticket to come over here and hang out with my daughter.
On one condition.
She keeps away from the house.
Yeah.
Wants that treehouse treatment.
Yeah. And that's what's funny. His daughter literally sleeps in a treehouse on the farm. It's really? A two-story treehouse.
Cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
With a slide.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I need a picture of this place. That sounds awesome.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
So I'm running a B2B referrals networking workshop on the 23rd from 11 to noon on LinkedIn. So you guys can feel free to check that out. We've locked in the dates for the Badass Business Summit. So that's rocking. Well, Keith, when we put the dates on those, when is that?
September 18th to the 20th.
So here in Fort Worth, Texas. So we've got the venue, got the dates on that. February 23rd will be the Champions Summit in Bethesda, Maryland. So that'll be a freaking blast. And just all kinds of crazy stuff coming up. So as we wrap up this week, guys, go kick ass. Make sure you follow Stephanie on all of her stuff. Just go look for the Sticky Fairy. Not that kind of fairy. On all the social media posts, follow her on LinkedIn. Her and I give each other a hard time all the time. Otherwise, guys, love you, mean it. Have a phenomenal badass week. See you. Bye.